Lamar Jackson with that awesome spin move, one of the great plays of the 2019 season. I could watch it over and over and over again. It inspired today's draft, the all-time offensive plays, because we decided, you know what, there's defensive plays too. We'll do that tomorrow. Today it's the all-time offensive plays that make you go, oh, when you see them, and we all shouted that out in the viewing room at NBC when it happened last year between the Ravens and the Bengals. Okay, so that's today's draft. Trivia question is in the possession of Christopher David Simms. He will ask it to me. If I get it right, I get the first pick.
Well, I know that Big Cat likes to say that you look like the Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos, right?
He doesn't say that. I don't look like Paulie Walnuts. Where's that coming from?
No, that's what he says.
He does.
That's what he says.
He does. He said he's eventually going to with his gray hair. That he dyes. He thinks if you admit that you dye your hair, it makes it okay. Go ahead.
I don't know. There's some that are arguing that you kind of look like it too. But either way, in honor of
Did I dye my hair? You've seen me in person. This is great lighting. There's a lot of gray there.
There is a lot of gray. It looks good. All right. In lieu of that, okay, what's Paulie Walnut's real last name in the show The Sopranos? What's his real last name? Eyes up there. No typing.
I'm not typing. What's his name? What's his last name? I have no idea.
You got no idea? All right.
No idea. I'm not just
Golatieri.
Yeah, I would have never even come close. That just sounds like you made it up on the spot.
I don't know for sure either. I'm not sure.
All right. Go ahead. You got the first pick.
Man, there's so many to pick from. Do you not find this draft hard? I really do. I mean, I have like 20 options written down right now.
Well, and let's be clear. Let's be clear to everyone.
Yeah.
This isn't the best plays of all time. This is the plays that elicit that visceral in the moment when you see it. You can't contain yourself. That's what this is.
Right. And I tried to pick guys that do this consistently, right? In lieu of like Lamar Jackson, it wasn't like one hit run wonder with that play we just saw against the Bengals. We're talking about guys that this kind of like describes them in their career. At least this is what I went with. You don't have to do that. I know you don't. You're not as smart as me.
No, that's fine.
So
No, listen. One of us can execute the draft as it was designed, and one of us can just come up with some completely different standard that he's pulling out of thin air or somewhere else. That's fine. That's your prerogative. If you want to make picks based on something other than what the draft is, that's your prerogative. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to make a pick on what the draft is and then make a pick to also just shove it up your butt. And my first one's going to be Michael Vick running down the left sideline against the Minnesota Vikings, splitting defenders, touchdown, Falcons, and Michael Vick. See ya, Minnesota. You're going home a loser, and Mike Florio may be crying. But to me, like, that play, and I don't know if we're going to have the highlight of it, but if you can remember in your brain, and I'm sure you can.
Oh, I remember it very well.
Overtime, dropping back to pass against the Minnesota Vikings, scrambles to his left, turns it upfield, and then turns on the afterburners to an extent in which we had never seen a quarterback ever run like that. I mean, that was like, whoa, are we watching Deion Sanders, or is this a quarterback? I mean, that's what kind of speed he showed. To me, that'll be a play I never forget in my life because I know I had never seen a quarterback do that. And I went, oh, my gosh, I've never seen anything like this in the history of the NFL, a guy that can make these kind of plays, not only with a big arm, but unbelievable running ability. So that was one of those that it will always ring true to me as far as a play that goes, oh, and here it is. Oh, baby.
Here's the thing. And I'm not taking anything away from the Mike Vick afterburner. What makes the play is the Keystone Cops routine when the two Vikings crash into each other.
Yeah, it did. It made it good. Thank you, Vikings, for delivering on that aspect of the play.
But that was, and you know what? That was an O moment, and it also felt like a Mike Vick welcome to the NFL moment. Like,
right.
Not the typical welcome to the NFL, like here's a big hit, but just like that was his coming out party. That was when people realized this guy's going to be every bit as good at this level as he was at Virginia Tech. All right,
see, that wasn't that bad. That was on theme. Wasn't that on theme, though? I mean,
it was.
Right? I mean,
but
good.
Your desire to stick it to me, I cannot believe you did this. I cannot believe it. There is one and only one all-time jump out of your seat moments in the National Football League, especially in the last 10 years, and it was the catch made by your guy, Odell Beckham Jr., in his rookie year on Sunday Night Football, when somehow, some way, that ball is coming in from 50 yards on the fly from Eli Manning, and somehow he falls backward, grabs the ball out of the air with one hand, secures the catch, and it's one of those things that you had to watch 100 times just to process what you had seen. There's been nothing like it. This is one of the greatest plays. It's unbelievable, Chris. I see it now, and it makes me want to jump up. How in the world did you blow this? Did you think I wasn't going to take it?
I don't know.
Look at that.
Blow it. I got 20 different plays written down, and I pick Odell Beckham Jr., I feel like, in every other draft we have. So I tried to change it up.
Because you do.
All right?
You think that because you do.
I know. So I let you have it this time. I knew that was going to get picked here at some point. But, no, I mean, really, that's the greatest catch I've ever seen by a guy, by any receiver. It's like the David Tyree catch, but David Tyree was like a one-hit wonder. I mean, I can't even remember one other reception he had in his career. Odell, we knew had great hands at that point, but you're right. That took it to another stratosphere. You're just like, whoa, this guy's different than even I expected.
David Tyree, it felt like the hand of God was in play there, that it was such a rare, unusual event. If we're talking about athleticism, if we're talking about something that when you see it, you assume it will be duplicated, that it will be replicated, that it will be, not that we've seen another one like it because you need the right circumstances, but it showed us what this guy's capable of. And that, to me, when you're talking about it for 15 minutes after it happened, and we're talking about it for 5 minutes right now, it just shows you what a play it was. All right, you're up.
All right. I think here I'm going to go to Barry Sanders. All right. You remember Barry Sanders, 1991 divisional playoff game. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys. He had so many marquee runs, but here it is. I mean, this is when I think of Barry Sanders, this is the play I always think of. I mean, running into a pile of people and then guys on the Dallas Cowboys being like, he's down, right? And then he's running for a touchdown, and they're like, what? And they're looking different ways, like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? To me, that just, signifies one of the greatest players we've ever had in the sport, and it's the play I always think of when I think of him and a play that made me go, oh, because it wasn't one of the biggest moments of his career as far as game-wise. They weren't in the playoffs a lot through Barry Sanders' career, as we know. That was a Dallas Cowboys team that everybody thought was, they could maybe go into Detroit and beat the Lions. And, of course, we know they were, building a dynasty there at that time with the Cowboys and would start that the next year. But that run right there just epitomizes what Barry Sanders was all about. The greatest in-space runner in the history of the NFL and the greatest running back I've ever seen in my lifetime.
I considered Barry Sanders, but I couldn't pick a play. I remember a play against the Bears. It was a week 1 game where he was bottled up behind the line, and then all of a sudden he was shot out of a cannon, right? There were so many plays like that for Barry Sanders. All right, next one for me, and usually when we talk Vikings-Cowboys, old school highlights on this show. There's an old school highlight that comes up. No, I'm not picking that one. The one I'm picking is from – I bet the one in particular – Thanksgiving Day, 1998. He had 3 catches for 150-plus yards and 3 touchdowns, but it was the last one. That was the one that was uncanny. That was because it's one thing. Look, it's great when you see the ball arc through the air and the guy makes a big catch. Impressive. When a guy takes a little flat pass and just finds a gear that you've never seen before, and guys who think they have an angle, and he does a little shoulder dip full speed right there, and it freezes the guy, and it's just like, see you later. It is man among boys. That, to me, that's a moment. That's a moment that resonates 22 years later.
It is, Mike. It was, it might have been my next pick. So, I mean, I'm with you. That to me, I can still remember sitting on the couch, watching that, at my home in Jersey and just going like, man, I can't wait to watch the Cowboys versus Randy Moss and seeing him do some of those things that day, especially that play. You're right. Because we had never seen a receiver that long and tall just open up and blow everybody away on the field in a race. I mean, he was like Usain Bolt running down the sideline there. So I'm with you. That was an all-time great. All right, I'm going to go to Deion Sanders here. I mean, I'm going back-to-back Sanders. Deion Sanders, 1989, his first regular season game as a player for the Atlanta Falcons. They're playing the Rams, and this is his first punt return touchdown as an NFL football player. And now as a young kid, you know, Deion Sanders was on my radar just because I was like, who is this loud, you know, gold chains, you know, can talk a lot. It's always a spectacle. He's wearing number 2 at Florida State. He's so cool. I kind of loved him early on, right away from day one. And then he went there and did that where I don't know if anybody remembers this play, but I'll try my best to explain it. Gets a punt, kind of fumbles it, drops on the ground, picks it up, makes a few people miss, reverses field, and then has like a 60-something yard punt return down the right sideline to be like, oh, whoa, Deion Sanders is real. And, of course, that continued to be a theme for the rest of his career. But, you know, to me, Deion Sanders has a few of those plays in his career where he's still, I think, the fastest guy I've ever seen on a field in the history of the NFL. It's either him or Tyreek Hill. It was pretty special.
All right, time for my pick, round 3, the all-time moment that makes you go, oh, and it was this one. Larry Fitzgerald breaks into the clear, and there are 3 guys, and they have no chance. He continues to run away from them, and that was the moment where I thought, boy, the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl. But to me, look, the athleticism here is just in the explosion and the disappearance and the shock of the moment. I think it's a combination of all those things, Chris. I will never forget how it felt to be in the stadium that day when that happened.
Yeah, that was a big moment. And, you know, that was a play that I think I've told you this before. The Cardinals stole from the Tennessee Titans team that I was on during that year. We had a big play against the Steelers in the regular season to win home field advantage. That was that play. And they stole that, and of course, it worked out great for them for the touchdown. But man, that's a great one. I should have picked my Earl Campbell, you know, decking the defender in the chest, then his jersey tearing away. I should have done that to my old Texas alum friend. What else did you have on your list?
Well, no, but think about it. With Earl Campbell, it was 2 moments like that in the same play. From the helmet to the stomach of Isaiah Robertson, and clearly a legal move now in the NFL, to the tearaway jersey, something they did away with because they were tearing jerseys all the time, but not in that kind of spectacular fashion. That to me, we both blew it. We both lost the draft by not putting that one in there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.